Hey, what's up, everybody? I am starting to make a little dive into analyzing a few altcoins to start accommodating some of the different audiences in the group. I know a lot of people hold ETH, and a lot of people appreciate the coin. And you know what? I decided to take a quick look at it today. I'm not going to sit here all day and look at it, but we'll do a quick analysis. I like doing the video ones with my new microphone. I feel like a professional with it, so I always like to use it. I've been getting my money's worth out of it, that's for sure. But what did I notice when I opened up this chart? Well, I haven't looked at an ETH chart in a long time. I don't have any indicators on right now. I do have them all on, but I just have them all blocked. Excuse me. I do see a few things I want to go over, and this is debatable, as all things are on a chart. But the first thing I want to talk about is the possibility of this being sort of a head and shoulders, a inverted head and shoulders pattern. You know what I mean? Where it looks like there's one shoulder, there's the head, there's the other shoulder, and we had a ascension afterwards. Now, it wasn't a direct ascension. We had a loss first, and that could negate what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where I guess it's in the eye of the beholder. The results look decent, like a pump would look after an inverted head and shoulders, but I guess it really doesn't matter because the pump happened, and whether or not it was a head and shoulders, it doesn't really matter after the pump's already occurred. But what do we see now? I see that there is some support in this area, and why would I see that? Let me see. Let me get a horizontal ray. It goes straight no matter what. So what I'm going to do is find where support is right now, which is right about here, and just look at all the instances it access support along here. It does, even here, even though there are some wicks below it, it is ultimately support. All the candles closed above this line, and I mean right here especially, it acted as support. Right here too, it closed right above that line, and even here you can consider that as part of the the wicks didn't even go below it there, but you could still consider that as the same succession of support. So all this is support right here. Was resistance back here. I mean, we briefly did break above it, but like I said, you have to be creative when you're looking at the charts. Not everything's going to be perfect, especially if you're looking in the past. Not so much as the future, you know what I mean? And look, we established this clear support over here. When it failed, we retested it. Classic TA. I say this every time I see that. We retest it. That's what happens. You fail, retest support. The former support. Now it's resistance. And then we consolidate underneath it. We make that inverted head and shoulders I was talking about, and then we break back above the support. The former support, which is now resistance. We did seem to flirt around underneath it for just at least for a day before we ended up finally breaking through it. But now we're above it, it's support. And I had an entry right in here. So I'm pretty satisfied with that entry. I'm hoping that we have a break up. ETH has got a lot of potential. I just didn't pick up a lot of it. I just picked up some. I'm trying to make a quick buck on for trade. I also picked up a few other alts, but I'll take a look at some of those as well. But in the meantime, I just wanted to take a quick look at ETH. The support is the big deal that I wanted to talk about. And I don't even have the other indicators on. I'm going to turn them on, but I just wanted to make sure a clear chart makes it easy to see. And this is support turned to resistance, obviously. I mean, look at that. That retest was beautiful. It was classic TA. And then we consolidate underneath it. After the retest failed, we didn't break back above it. It was a bearish signal, and that's why we dropped. We have a continuation pattern here, which I made a video on today. If you want to check that out, you're more than welcome to. It's just a video that explains how a continuation pattern works. But look, you go down. I'm just gonna show you guys. This is a classic bear continuation pattern. They're not all bullish. They're not all bearish. Some of them are bullish too. You gotta think of it. The way this one looks is the opposite of a bullish one. So it goes up or it goes down, consolidate, down, and that is just a classic continuation pattern, and sometimes they go longer than that. It'll go 2 or 3 steps. You know what I mean? That looks like a stair step. That's the way trends end up getting formed, is through stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, you'll end up with a trend that is made of those stair steps. You know what I mean? And it's just classic TA, guys. Like I said, you end up with a trend like that simply from all the continuation patterns, which is part of the trend, really. So, like I said, you'll learn that as you get experience in the game. You'll learn all of these patterns. That's what they are. They're just basically continuation patterns. You go to a smaller time frame, you can see a little bit more of the flags and stuff like that. And that's what basically a flag is part of the continuation pattern as well. You go up, create the flag up, create the flag up. You know what I mean? And sometimes that's a basic definition of a bull market, is the bull flag after bull flag, basically. You know, you just keep going up. You don't always keep going up, but you get the idea. Right now, Ethereum is at the support, and I'm satisfied with where it is, but that's why I made an entry. But like I said, I have my stop loss set as well. I'm not stupid. I'm going to delete this, and I'm going to turn on some of my indicators. See, the Bollinger Bands, they don't look particularly tight right now, but that doesn't mean that volatility isn't on the menu. You know how crypto is. Crypto doesn't give a what you think. If it wants to get volatile, it will get volatile. And the thing is we have the support of the cloud right now, where it's the same situation with Bitcoin almost, where the cloud in the 50 MA is above us and the cloud is below us, and we're trying to fight our way out of this. We have a lot of support below us, though, so I think the bulls are on our side, guys, and breaking up from this is a real possibility. But we're gonna have a little surge of volume and a little hope. You know, it's one of those things. I know you hope probably should be bringing emotions into the market, but sometimes you just, you know what I mean, you can't help it. It's like Santa Claus, you know, you just hope in one hand and use the restroom in the other and see which one fills up faster. But let me tell you, I have a lot of I don't have any reason to say this bull market's over. There's no indication that it's over with. There's a stimulus that people are just now getting in their accounts, and you know, I'm bound to say that I'm sure at least some of those people will put that money into Bitcoin, and depending on how much of that money goes into Bitcoin, who knows. The thing about it isn't as much as of the money that goes into Bitcoin, but it's also that they're printing money like it is on fire. You know what I mean? Like they have to print it to replace it because it's burning up. That's not true. They need to chill out on that because it's inflating the supply, which is creating a less demand, and by doing that, it's I'm trying to think of the best wording to put. It is really I can't think of the wording. I'm sorry. Diluting the supply is the best word, I guess I could say. It's called inflation. It's basic inflation. By creating more of a supply, there's less of a demand, and that's why Bitcoin is so popular, guys. There's only 21 million. 5 or 6 million are already gone. So I mean, the people just lost them. They're just in various wallets. They'll never be recovered. At least not to my knowledge. Maybe they will be recovered one day. Who knows? Maybe there'll be some sort of program somebody makes in the future. I don't know enough about computers to say that's not possible. I am not a computer genius, so don't get me wrong, or please don't accuse me of being an idiot whenever you hear me say stuff like that. I just don't know, you know. I know some people that are brilliant with computers, and that just leads me to believe that in the future anything's possible, you know. And you know, the encryption's great on Bitcoin, and all this stuff is great with it. That makes it really hard to hack the chain or whatever. But eventually, it may not be the case. You know what I mean? Hopefully, not in my lifetime. At least I want to be a part of Bitcoin's success story, and my whole life I want it to be successful. I would love to pass away with a ledger or something, you know what I mean, and just say, hey, I was part of Bitcoin when it first started, you know. And I was part of the movement, and let's say it's huge by that point, you know what I mean? That would be so great to, you know what I mean, to be a part of the basically pioneers, you know, just like anything, you know, at the start. There's basic people that believe in it and some people that don't, and, you know, it takes people like us to keep something like Bitcoin and Ethereum and any of these coins going, and you know, we're doing a good job. Hell, look at the market cap; it's $1 trillion, so we're doing great. But anyways, Ethereum is looking a lot like Bitcoin to me, guys. The path of least resistance, in my opinion, on the 4-hour chart is up, but that doesn't mean we're going up, guys. That means you need to set a stop loss, because this could be a continuation pattern, like I was just showing you guys. Let me show you what I'm. It's not what I'm thinking, but what it possibly could be. You know what I mean? So we have the down arrow, right? Oh man, come on. Alright, I have it backwards. There we go. So you go down from here. We have the little uptick over here. Now, that's why I have my stop loss set, because I am not sure if we're going to do this, which would not be good for me because I just entered a long. But you know what? It wouldn't be the first time, won't be the last. I have my stop loss set somewhere around here, and whenever it loses this support, which is what I'm basing my trade off of, hey, I hit the support, now it's time to buy. That's why I bought there, is because I figured this support was a good time to buy. But if it bails, what am I going to do? I'm going to let my stop loss trip, and I'm exiting the trade, and I will have my, I'll still have 98 to 95% of the money I entered the trade with, and that's how I live with myself. Even if I lost this trade, I'm still not going to lose that much money, you know what I mean? And hey, I lose often. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I lose probably 45 to 50% of the time, but when I do, it's this much, you know what I mean? It's typically about 2 to 5% a loss versus loss, well, I'd say 2 to 7%. I'd say, because man, it varies. Sometimes I move my stop loss down here because I'm like, hey, I want it to bounce in that cloud. It might bounce in the, you know what I mean? And it just depends on my mood. And I don't mind losing a little bit more for a peace of mind, and that's the way I am. I'm just more patient, and I'm willing to sacrifice a little bit more profit at times, not always. You know what I mean? You have to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. So, like I said, just whenever you use a stop loss, you need to use it smartly, but you also need to make sure whenever, like, if we're going down like this arrow's point, don't keep moving that stop loss down like this, thinking, oh, we're going to bounce back up, because eventually we're not going to bounce back up, and we're going to come down, and you're going to just end up losing more and more as you walk it down. You never want to walk it down. Always walk it this way. Never walk it this way, because I've done that before, where you try to keep the trade alive by moving the stop loss down. I'm sorry, guys, I didn't mean to do that. But let's say you started the stop loss here and you keep moving it down because you're like, oh man, we're going to bounce back up. But there's some times where that doesn't happen, and you end up losing more than you wanted to begin with. And it really stinks, because it just leaves a bad taste in your mouth. You know, that's the way. And you don't want to trade like that. Don't retreat. Let it trip. That's the way I do it. Or y'all, if you want my advice, let your stop loss trip up here and find another entry point. You know what I mean? Even if it's up here and you enter, you can still make money off of that, guys. It doesn't matter where you enter, as long as you get that positive gain. You know what I mean? You have to look at it that way. If you're just looking to accumulate on a dollar cost average basis, then it's different. Maybe you do want to buy every low you see, or buy at a different strategy than what I'm talking about. But it doesn't matter if I buy at 50,000 or I buy at 5,000. I mean, it does matter in terms of how much Bitcoin I get, but I'm still making money off of my trades in the same fashion. And I want you guys to understand that, you know what I mean? You can make big money. It doesn't matter for a trader what Bitcoin's cost is. As long as there's trading going on, and as long as people are buying and selling, there's still a market to trade on. There's still money to be made. You can make money when Bitcoin's at 500. You can make money when Bitcoin is at 50,000. Easy. Either way, it doesn't matter. So to us, a price drop is just a different trade. It's whenever you're going long, or whenever you're right here, you would want to enter obviously to tether on this chart, because we're in the USDT ETH pairing. So you enter tether here, re-enter ETH here, enter tether here, you know what I mean, and then re-enter ETH if you want to you know what I mean. It's one of those things, guys, where trading with USDT is a lot less risky than leverage trading. So keep that in mind, guys. If you're going to trade leverage, make sure you understand the risk that's involved, and also USDT does have risk as well. So be aware of all that. But anyways, I have a lot of high hopes for ETH. That's why I picked some up. If all else fails, my stop loss is gonna trip, and you know what, I'll be out. But hey, I've entered the market late on a bunch of different coins, but I always look at it the way I just explained it. It doesn't matter when I enter it, as long as I get some profit. And if I don't get profit, my stop loss will save me, and I'm not gonna tell anybody. I'm just gonna keep it to myself anyways, because I don't go around spouting my losses to everybody. Oh, guess what? I lost today. You know what I mean? But I do lose. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Everybody loses. No trader is perfect. If any trader tells you they never lose, they're a liar. And I want to get that flat out there. It's the truth. But like I said, there's a lot to be bullish about on the chart right now. We have plenty of evidence that this has been support in the past. And there's no reason to think it won't act as support again. I mean, there's a lot of reasons to think that, because there's a cloud below us, there is the support. The cloud has two supports in it. It has the top and the bottom line. So I mean, you know what I mean? The top and the bottom border of the cloud act as support lines, both of them. And there's also other minor support along the way, like even right here there's some support. So there's a lot of built up support below us. And also, let's take a look at the daily while we have the ETH chart up. I'm looking at the USDT chart. See, I have a lot of stuff written on here from previous times. You can see that I used to even have there's an old fib on there, and there's all sorts of different. Look, that was the yearly high, 1171 back then. That's crazy, ain't it? It's just weird that all of these notes I put on there, I always like to read them, because sometimes I'll open up a chart and I'll see all these old notes. I'm like, wow, look what happened since then. But it's just neat, you know. Anyways, you see a lot of consolidation comes all the way up until January, beginning of the year, and we started pumping really well. And that 50 MA has been below us the entire time on the daily, on the pump, except for this one brief week here. But we have evidence that we're re-establishing it as support at the moment. But if it fails, we are in bad shape, because look, we have the 50 MA and the cloud both merged basically, so it's two supports. That gives the market more confidence along that. That's why another reason why I had no problem entering. It's because, look, up here we fell below the 50 MA. There was no double support. The cloud was well below it. So we had fell below it, and the cloud supported us. Look, we had no entries into the cloud. We beautifully supported the cloud. This cloud beautifully supported us. So what is happening here, though? We have the 50 MA and the cloud. It's much closer to each other now, which leads me to believe traders will notice that, and then we'll say, hey, here, I'm going to go ahead and erase this because it's sort of a cluster. There we go. But traders will see how close this 50 MA and the top of the cloud is and say, hey, this is a good opportunity to long. And we have a good opportunity to break an all-time high here. And you know what? I very well could see it happening. That's why I entered along here. But like I said, you be the judge. What do you think? Are you bullish? You bearish? What are you guys on ETH? I thought I'd share an analysis with you guys because, I was a little bored this evening. I decided to pull out the old mic and make analysis on a few alts. But I don't know about these video analysis. If you guys like the video analysis, I can keep doing them, but I can also write them. I know, either way, I go on forever. So it doesn't really save you any time, either if I write it or speak. But I probably speak a little bit longer. This is how I go in my trading course as well. But anyways, I appreciate it, guys. And like I said, these are my thoughts on ETH. Like I said, take them or leave them. I'm not trying to tell you guys what to buy, what to sell. I'm just telling you what I think. I hope you guys, I hope it helped out. I hope if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. I'd be more than happy to help you out. Have a good one, guys.